very grateful for this exciting interaction with Ms. Noor Hayati, the Chief of the International Education Development from the Ministry of Education, and Dr. Sheau Shi from USM, Senior Lecturer and very bright researcher who is certainly going to make Malaysia very proud. So both of you have given us many, many ideas today. So first of all, education blueprint is very important for Malaysia, which has been described very capably by Ms. Noor Hayati. Effort started in 2010, started implementation in 2013, will continue to 2025. But in this journey of creating quality education, bringing all the fairness and the important aspects of how we go to the next level at all levels of education is a great effort of Malaysia, but through this blueprint, many other countries have also benefited. And we have learned also the link with Africa, with the education blueprint and evidence-based education policy, very important. But at the same time, we've learned that there can be efforts in other parts of the world, like the example from Cote d'Ivoire and SMS and messaging. The ideas can be useful here in Malaysia as well. The facilities which are here, they are wonderful to be visited and to be learned together. Also, the new areas which are coming, for example, the global citizenship education blueprint can benefit from the efforts of UNESCO in Paris, in Bangkok, in Jakarta, and other places. So that's another important aspect of MUCP, bringing UNESCO offices together, working with the Ministry of Education and colleagues. And now with the concept of prevention of violent extremism, very sensitive area, but very important area, discussed at UNESCO's executive board, and is being looked very carefully. How can we bring it in the right context in Malaysia and in the process linked with other countries? So that's very important area which must continue, and it's good for Malaysia certainly, but at the same time it benefits other nations, and we have those networks which are already there. People can work with each other, can call upon each other. So that's the summary coming from Ms. Noor Hayati's interventions and very capably described. Then, of course, Dr. Sheau Shi from USM, today in Penang, has described to us this handbook, which is for the journalists related to this area of climate change reporting. How can we bring the right kind of scientific knowledge, but how do we bring the concepts to a lay person and to the understanding of the journalist so there can be responsible reporting? How do we bring the climate justice concept from the level of the whole world, from the point of view of who is having more emissions and who is at the receiving end, but at the same time, how do we bring them to the common person, like the Aboriginal people who may be having difficult issues for their livelihood as well, but also how do we bring a multi-stakeholder approach? There are benefits for individuals involved in MUCP, and certainly Dr. Sheau Shi has given us idea that there is a lot of excitement of these new networks working together, being part of the bigger global community, trying to solve challenges which need efforts beyond borders. So that's very important aspect of our work. And also the handbook which has been developed here, which can be used by many other nations. It came from Africa, updated with the most recent knowledge. The work coming from UNESCO offices and our headquarters help us bring more customized knowledge at the local level. And this continues into future, and the networks are already there. There is benefit for both Asia and Africa, but at the same time, at the individual level. So also there can be centers of excellence like a UNESCO chair, which is being proposed by USM, that can also benefit from such kind of communication knowledge, and there can be better networks within universities at the local level, between universities, across countries. And that's where we have to work together to solve these big challenges. And that's the purpose of MUCP, South-South cooperation for better peace, for sustainable development, for progressing all areas of UNESCO. Lastly, as was described by Ms. Noor Hayati, when we had this event in Paris with the member states of UNESCO at the General Conference from MUCT, there is so much excitement about this program. There is a lot of lessons learned which can be useful for promoting peace and sustainable development through all mandates of UNESCO. So we thank our colleagues, Ms. Noor Hayati, for bringing so many insights from that conference and excellent contribution at the General Conference. And we wish best of luck to Dr. Sheau Shi. She makes us proud and makes Malaysia proud, and all those colleagues who are working with